start on a high, shall we, Rob, and talk about the winners? It can be a team or a player. Who stood out to you?
I mean, to be honest, I know you've just spoken about him for the first part of the show, but I mean, to me, the big winner of the window has been Real Madrid, because they've managed to sign Jude Bellingham. The view in England over the summer was that possibly he would leave Borussia Dortmund for a team in the Premier League, maybe Manchester City, and then later in his career, perhaps he would end up at Real Madrid. Obviously, an ambition of his to end up at Real Madrid. It was a little bit of a surprise in England that he chose to move straight to Real Madrid, and there was a little bit of risk, I think, attached to that for Madrid. In that, Yanis is right in what he said earlier, that shirt can weigh very, very heavily, particularly on young players. And the way he started, the form he's in already, just goes to show what a wonderful player he is and what a wonderful signing it's been. And if you're a Real Madrid fan now, you're looking at possibly having the best midfielder in the world for the next 10, 12 years. And that is a massive boost to any team. So, hats off to Real Madrid for taking that risk. Hats off to Jude Bellingham for wanting to go to Real Madrid straight away. I mean, obviously it's still very early, but it looks like it's working out for everyone at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with you actually, Rob, because we're getting comments in straight away saying that Manchester United are losers in this segment. What are your thoughts on that? Who would you have picked?
I think that's a little bit mean, isn't it? I mean, I think that they've done okay business. I don't think it's incredible. I think they solved issues that they had. Andre Onana, I think, was a good signing in that they needed a new goalkeeper to implement the way that Ten Hag wants to play football. Obviously, Onana is a lot more comfortable with the ball at his feet than David De Gea. I think the problem is that the two other major signings, Mason Mount and Rasmus Højlund, there are question marks about those two already. Mason Mount hasn't had a particularly good start and is now injured. He's obviously coming back off the back of a season where a little bit underwhelming for Chelsea. And Rasmus Højlund is a 20-year-old striker without the body of work that you need to look back on to say that he's definitely going to be a success at Man United. The issue that Man United fans have got is that before the summer, they were all saying the same thing. You need to sign an established striker to score the goals to get closer to Man City. That, in their eyes, was Harry Kane, and obviously he's been allowed to go to Bayern Munich. United have ended up with Rasmus Højlund, who is very, very highly rated. He's probably one of the best young players in the world, but he's 20 years old. He only scored 9 goals in Serie A for Atalanta last season. He's going to have to be very, very good at Man United. And there's a theory going around Old Trafford at the moment that Rasmus Højlund could end up scoring 10 Premier League goals this season. And for a 20-year-old striker, that's not bad. But United need more than that. They need more than 10. They need 30, 35 goals in all competitions to get to the level that they want to be. So, it may turn out to be a very, very good window for Man United, but I think there are an awful lot of question marks at the moment.
Yeah, obviously time will tell there. And just to go to you, Yanis, we're also getting Arsenal and PSG coming up in the comments as winners here. I don't know if that's going to sway your thoughts on who's been a winner in this transfer window.
For winners, I'm going to get back to Rob and losers, because I'm going to go there with Manchester United.
Go on then. Let's do it.
Well, no, I mean, I think losers in a sense that, I look at James Ward-Prowse, I look at James Maddison, I look at Harry Kane, I look at Declan Rice. Those are the players that Manchester United would have gone for in the past and should have gone for it, right? And I think what's happening right now, okay, you and I in Premier League Express, we've talked about ahead of the season, didn't we? That how do you improve what they've done last year with all the players that they've gotten with Rasmus Højlund? Big ask, right? But I mean, Manchester United's for now, and later in the Premier League Express, I'll explain that. Same with Chelsea. They had an opportunity, they had a window, and I look at those players. What they do, and in other clubs, and I think to myself that combined with, of course, the ownership. Sale collapsing makes me think that they're losers. By the way, a loser in that will be David De Gea as well, because he's without a club. I'm not sure if he deserved that. I mean, Manchester United could have lost all the games that they've played so far. Onana, okay, De Gea had a slow start, so I'm going to wait with that. So that's my loser. My winner, since I'm here and let you guys speak, is I think Spurs so far. You have to say it. Ange Postecoglou is doing a tremendous job. We've mentioned James Maddison. He was tremendous, not just with the goal, but I think on a third Heung-min Son goal was absolutely incredible. How he brought the ball up the pitch. I mean, his vision and everything else. He's been working extremely well. And Mickey van de Ven, I mean, I kind of knew who he was, but I didn't realize how good he was right now, which kind of could go back to Manchester United. Where's that center back that they desperately needed ahead of the season, and they failed to address that as well, which we saw in the game against Arsenal. So United, the losers, and Spurs are winners so far.
Yeah, who would have thought we would be saying Spurs winners at this point after losing Harry Kane? But perhaps that's helped Postecoglou even more to just work with what he's got now and know that he doesn't have to factor in Harry Kane, and he won't be wondering where he's going if he's losing and what's happening next season. Alex, who are you going for your winners?
I think Barca have had a very good transfer window, actually, especially when you consider the restrictions they were operating under. We almost get sick of talking about how difficult Barca's finances are, don't we? But the fact is that they really were operating with a bit of a financial straitjacket. And so under those circumstances, you look at the players they've brought in, I think it's fantastic. Bringing in one of the best midfielders in the Premier League in Gundogan, bringing in Inigo Martinez from Athletic on a free, bringing in Romeo, a really smart signing, I think, from Girona, and then bringing the two Joãos on deadline day as well, João Cancelo and João Felix. Yet we might be unconvinced by João Felix, and let's see how he gets on. But João Cancelo addresses a really pressing need that Barca had on that right-hand side. And the fact they brought all those players in, having spent so little money, like I say, I just think it's been really good business from Barca. They moved on a couple of players at the end of the window that in ideal circumstances they might not have wanted to move on. So you've got Ansu Fati going to Brighton, you've got Abde who's gone as well, but they had to do those deals in terms of to make the finances work to bring in Cancelo and João Felix on deadline day. So Barca, I think, have been the big winners. And in terms of losers here in La Liga, I think Atletico Madrid. Atleti spent all summer being very open about the fact they wanted to bring in a central midfielder. Diego Simeone talked about it. Miguel Angel Gil, the CEO, talked about it. They said, we need a deep-lying central midfielder. They haven't got one. And the window closed. And in fact, they've been weakened in the last 24 hours as well, because Yannick Carrasco, who's an inconsistent player, but really important at times. In the best Atleti teams in recent years, Carrasco has been a big part of that. And he's gone to Saudi Arabia now. So their squad has been weakened as well, right at the very end of the window.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.